a podcast where we review Marvel, DC, and any other type of superhero films or other stuff. I'm one of your hosts, the Manny Franco.
Oh, and I am the other half of this beautiful host party, Manny Fresh, and that's fresh with a PH because you can't spell superhero without a P and an H. You need both in it. I'm working on the tagline, guys. It's coming. Give me some time. Give me some time.
I like that one a little bit. I'm still working on taglines to close out the show, so we'll get there as well.
Okay, yeah, I'll get there. My brain doesn't like to be creative until I'm not being asked to be creative. I have a billion ideas, then when somebody's like, "Hey, what do you have an idea of?" All those ideas, like, we're not here anymore. It's like we were here in your head when you weren't being asked. Now we just don't exist.
And then you walk away, and like 3 minutes later, it comes back.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, and it's like the best punchline or tagline ever. And it's just like, well, now I talk to myself in the mirror later on. Yeah, sad
Yeah.
stuff.
So, how's your week going? How's it been going since the last episode?
Um, since the last episode, I have the heat just gets stronger and stronger. I wish I was Superman because he gets his energy from the sun. Life would make more sense to me, but I'm not. So instead of getting my energy from the sun, I think I'm slowly deteriorating. Um, and It's a good thing I'm not a vampire, because then I wouldn't be able to stand the sun.
I work nights, so I really don't need the sun, anyways. I'm sleeping during
Oh,
the day, so if I was a vampire, I think I'll do all right.
I think I have a lot of respect for people that work nights, man. Because when I used to work nights, dude, my life made no sense. Like, how do people do this for a living? I don't know what life looks like outside my window.
As you know, have 2 kids, a loving wife, and
Yes.
I work nights. On my
Mm,
days off, I try to sleep for like a couple hours just so I can wake up and have my whole full
yeah.
day.
Mm,
And that was today actually. I woke up at 11, and I'm tired, just real tired.
man, I work mornings, and on my days off, my body treats it like it's a work day. So sometimes it'll try to wake me up at 6. Sometimes it'll try to wake me up at 7 because it's so routine. And it'll be like 6:45 in the morning. It's like, hey, we gotta pee, and I'm like, no, we don't. It's our day off. We do not have to pee. It's like, no, we have to. And it's like, oh, that is the worst thing. But I'm glad you had a day off, man. I actually got an energy drink today because I noticed when we did episode 0, I'm just I don't understand my age. Like I was enjoying it so much, but then afterwards I was like, man, I feel like gassed out, and all we did was record a podcast. I was like, I shouldn't feel this way. So I was like, I'm gonna get an energy drink, give myself a panic attack, and it'll keep me going.
Well, whenever you give your opinions on superheroes and villains, and you you try to ruin people's day because your opinion's better than theirs, then
Mm,
you lose energy, man.
you do, I
You lose
know.
energy.
When you try to get the world to see the truth for what it is, it's tough life,
Yeah.
tough life.
Well, that's enough rambling. Today we're
Yeah, sorry
talking
guys.
about Blade from 1998.
Harrison Ford.
Yes, Harrison Ford.
I rented the wrong thing. The guy at Blockbuster told me it was. The guy at Redbox said this is Blade 1990 what? 8?
98. I almost
98.
almost got Blade Runner. Blade Runner 20 was 2099.
There was a I think it's 2049. Wait, is it 2049?
Is this 2049? I don't know. I've never seen
Because
the
there's
movie.
Blade Runner and then there's Blade Runner 2049. And I think a 2099 is Spider-Man. There's Spider-Man 2099. Yeah.
Probably.
Miguel O'Hara.
Well, today's the first episode. We have a whole bunch of segments. We talked about a few. We added some in
Yes.
episode 0. If you haven't seen episode
Mm.
0 or listened to episode 0, you can go back on the archive. It's on YouTube, Emosewa Productions, EMOSEWA Productions, or Awesome So Backwards. Or you can look it up on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Stitcher, yada, 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 wherever you listen to
Oof.
podcast. The
Beautiful.
same name, Emosewa Productions, EMOSEWA, or Awesome, spelled backwards.
Yes.
Episode 0 will give a breakdown of what to expect in this podcast, what type of opinions myself, will probably have, and what type of opinions Manuel will probably have. and it gives you a little breakdown of a couple segments. But let's get into the first segment. It's gonna be a top six review. Is it the review? Yeah, is that what you call it? Right,
Yeah,
review.
or we can the Sinister Six, which will be six of our top favorites, and I think we can even do like at some point maybe change it to six of our least favorite.
Yeah,
Right?
change it
That'd
up.
be pretty cool. Yeah, but I like the name that you came up with, the Sinister Six, which will be
Uh,
six of
Actually, I didn't
tough
come up with
ones.
it. I forgot to tell you before, but Juan from the Cinnamon Moon Podcast gave us the idea of it,
Well, shout out to Juan and shout out to the Cinnamon Movie Podcast if you're also
which
listening.
you can
If
watch
you're
on
also,
our YouTube
Mhm.
channel as well.
Yes, the Cinnamon Movie Podcast. Go give them a listen. Amazing work.
But yeah, top six sinister list. Today's episode is gonna be Marvel characters.
Mm, beautiful. I'm excited about this
Um,
one.
yeah, do you want to start off with number six? Or you want me to start it off?
You can start it off, man. Go ahead.
Okay. Number six, Marvel characters. Because I love the actress. She's a beautiful actress. One of my favorite actresses. And honestly, I did not know she was in Thor until I watched Thor back in 2020. Darcy.
Mm, Darcy.
hmm
Darcy.
I
Cat
love.
Dennings.
Yeah, I love Kat Dennings.
Darcy.
I used to watch Two Broke Girls because of her. One of my favorite movies of all time is Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist with her,
Mhm.
and another one of my favorite actors, Michael Cera. Um, but yeah, Darcy.
Oh man, I love Michael Cera.
He's real good. Scott Pilgrim vs.
Yeah.
Thor might be a review later on.
Ooh, Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and then he was also in Arrested Development. So Jason Bateman
Oh
was in
yeah,
that. So I saw a lot of him in that.
I
But
watched
I
most of it. I think the new season that they redid on Netflix. I didn't watch that one though.
That was bad, man. As much as I loved all the series, it took me forever to get to that last season, just because I was like, I don't want to finish it, but I have to because I started it. It was Netflix did a horrible job at handling that. So Darcy, you have Darcy at number six.
Number six.
I'm excited to hear um your number five pick. Who do you got on your list?
Oh, we're not gonna be going back and forth.
Oh wait, we do it back and forth. Okay,
Yeah.
number six, you had Darcy. For number six, I chose Peter from Deadpool 2 because he's just a fun character. He's random, and I grew to love him by the end of the film. He has no powers, but I think that's what all of us want to be in the midst of a situation that involves superheroes. Like, hey, I'm willing to help. I'm not gonna. I have no powers. I'm not rich. I can't even fight like Batman, but I want to be here because I had nothing better to do, and this seemed like the place to come audition. So Peter and his beautiful mustache. I wish I had a thick mustache. I don't, and that's because when I was younger, I hated. I used to tell my dad I never want a mustache, and then I got one, and now it's like I like it, but I want it to be thick, thick like Miles Teller's in Maverick. I want it to be thick like that.
That was a good
Um,
mustache.
those are great mustaches. I don't know how people grow them. Um, but yeah, I got Peter for number six. That's my sixth pick.
We all aspire to be Peter.
We all
Peter
do.
Parker.
Yes, with great power comes great responsibility.
My number five. Again, if you haven't listened to episode zero, I'm more of a movie based rather than comic based. One of my favorites in the like all the movies, Avengers and all that I've grown to love is Hawkeye. He's just
Wow.
a normal guy with arrows, bow and
Jeremy
arrows.
Renner.
Yeah,
Yes.
and yeah, he plays a good Hawkeye.
And he first started in Thor. He was the one that was going to shoot the arrow at Thor when he was trying to grab Mjolnir. Um, did you watch the series, the Disney Plus series?
I did. I watched it whenever it. I
When
didn't
was it
follow
airing?
whenever it was airing, but I watched like after it aired.
Okay, cool. I do like the way they delve into his family life and how he was coping with trying to be a father and a superhero, well, a hero at the same time. How they talked about he was losing his hearing.
hmm
You know, it's I know that like there's opinions about Hawkeye, but for a majority of the character development, it was there. Like Clint Barton's character development was there, so I rock with your number five pick. I think Hawkeye is a good choice. Um, my number five goes to James Buchanan Barnes, Bucky, the Winter Soldier, Sebastian Stan. I honestly love that character. I said it in the podcast when we did our top three films that Captain America Winter Soldier was my number one. I just think the character of Bucky has been so well done. Even in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they still continued his storyline. They still showed like the rawness of him trying to cope with the fact that he was under mind control for so long, and did things that he himself is not proud of, but also stuff that he hasn't forgiven himself for. I think Sebastian Stan completely bodies the role of Bucky. He didn't become Captain America. I would have loved to see it, but I also love Anthony Mackie, so I'm not even, upset with the fact that they chose Anthony Mackie to be the next Captain America. But Falcon the Winter Soldier did a really good part of using Bucky to help him become Captain America, and for that I applaud Marvel. That is my number five pick.
I was
Bucky.
pretty close adding him to the list, but
Oh yeah.
I didn't. I don't know why.
Hmm. That's okay.
Number four, because I'm a wrestling fan,
Ooh, talk to
and
me.
he was one of my favorite wrestlers. He's the one that got me back into wrestling back in 2007. It's Dave Bautista's Drax. Um,
Wow.
I wasn't a big fan of Guardians of the Galaxy when it first came out. I didn't watch it, but I know whenever I got with my wife, I think part two was coming out or had just came out, and she wanted to go watch it, so we watched it, and I enjoyed Batista's, Batista's portrayal as Drax,
Yes,
and I also had to have him to the list because she got me a Drax pop signed by Batista for my birthday a few years back, so he has to
that
make
was
the
really
list.
cool.
Drax.
Drax, I definitely love Batista. I love when somebody that you can't see playing certain characters comes in and plays the character and you just fall in love with them. Like for me, when it comes to wrestlers playing movie characters, like for example, The Rock, I feel like I love watching The Rock and everything, right? And then when John Cena stepped onto the scene and I saw the Marine, this is not taking punches. I thought the acting from John Cena was horrible, but that's just my opinion. I'm not dogging, but I feel like John Cena has grown in the niche and the genre that he needs to be in. And currently, I feel like with shows like Peacemaker, um, uh, like he's just embodying like the comedy side of himself, in which I think he portrays better than maybe the serious side of him. So I've really enjoyed seeing that, and especially with Batista playing Drax, it's really fun to where now if Batista's not even in the Drax outfit, I still want to see a movie that has Batista in it. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm like the guy's fun to like a fun character to work with.
Yeah,
That
he's
was
a pretty good actor as well.
yeah. I agree. I like Batista. He's freaking huge, scary. Um, but yeah, okay. So you have Drax, and that was your number four,
Yeah, number
right?
four.
Okay, cool. My number four, Matt Murdock, Daredevil. Um, and this goes for the Charlie Cox version. If we're talking MCU, um, I love you, Ben Affleck. I will die on a hill defending your Batman, but I cannot say the same for your Matt Murdock. Um, Although when I was younger, I enjoyed the hell out of Daredevil. But Charlie Cox's portrayal in all three seasons of Daredevil on Netflix was just amazing. I went crazy when I saw him on the screen in No Way Home. So glad that he's now officially MCU. I really hope they do something with Charlie Cox's Daredevil. I hope we see more because damn, the MCU, the Netflix Daredevil was just so badass, man. Like it was just gritty. It really dove into Matt Murdock and excuse me, Foggy and everybody else that played a part in that. So definitely my number four pick goes to Daredevil, especially because he constantly deals with the side of faith because he's a Catholic. And so there's that you see that in the show as well. This like double-sidedness, or where he's questioning, or where he'll have to go talk to the father, and things like that. Sorry, I'm myself not a Catholic, so if I'm screwing up the terminology, guys, please don't cancel me. Um, but I thought that was really cool. So yeah, Daredevil for me. That's my number four.
I liked him in No Way Home. That's about all I've seen him in.
Yes, yes. Um, did you know that in No Way Home, when he catches the brick, right?
Hmm.
It's actually they didn't throw a brick at him; they threw a snow globe. And so in it, they edited the brick that he catches. So if you look at the way his hand is positioned, it's positioned like this instead of if you were holding a brick like that. It's like this because he caught a snow globe. I saw that in like a behind the scenes thing, and I was like, what the heck? Like I thought it was a brick, and they're like, no, we edited that post production.
I think a brick would have hurt if they actually threw a brick.
Yeah, I think that'd be well. Even a snow globe, man, that's still scary.
Well, I mean,
The
yeah, but I think
snow
a snow
globe's
globe would like
heavy.
hurt less. I feel
Yeah,
like
okay.
unless
Yeah,
it
that's
breaks,
true.
then you're fucked. But
That's true. Yeah.
number three. Whenever we originally were doing the list idea,
Hmm.
I told you what you could pick the first list. You said Marvel characters. I
Yes.
assumed you meant superheroes, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take his word for it and say Marvel characters.
Cool.
So this one's not a hero. Darcy, it was in. I don't know if you want to count her as a hero or not, but this one is Loki. I've
Nice, nice.
fallen
That is
in
a
love
Marvel
with
character. That's a
Loki.
Marvel character. Yeah.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. A character, not
Yeah,
rather than a
yeah,
superhero.
yeah, yeah.
I fell in love with Loki after the Dark World, I believe. Right? That's the
Thor
second one.
Dark World. Yes, that is the sequel, the 2013,
Yeah, I fell in love with
2013
him after
Thor Dark
that.
World. Yeah.
Um, I didn't watch the Loki series. I kept like passing up on it, but once I saw it, I was like, you know what? Yeah, this is a really good series. Like for some reason, I couldn't get into it at the beginning whenever it was like airing week by week, but
Yeah,
afterwards, I was able to get into it. And it was really good.
yeah. And I also think Tom Hiddleston's just a tremendous actor when it comes to playing that role, especially. And I think even outside of being an actor, I've seen him very respectful towards fans and even female fans anytime he's around them. So it just seems like in character he's an asshole that you love, and outside of character he's still a very polite man. I don't know if he's an asshole, but even if he was, I mean, I think I'd still enjoy him because he seemed like a genuine guy. So I actually rock with that. That was your number three pick, Loki.
Yeah, number three.
Loki, Tom Hiddleston, nice man. I like that. Um, my number three pick was Wolverine. Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. Gosh, man, I remember seeing X Men in theaters as a kid, and just the start of it, and when we first get to see Wolverine. I remember even as a kid, I used to watch the '90s television series. The ringtone is that's my ringtone for my phone is the X Men theme. Just Wolverine's just been this awesome character to me for years, and to see it like happen in on the big screen and see it come to life. I'm just like any Wolverine action figure that comes out, I try to grab as soon as I can. I just love the character. I also love Hugh Jackman's portrayal. I loved Logan. I'm sad that we're no longer gonna have Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Maybe in a world where he decides to come back now that the multiverse is open. I hope, but also he did say in interviews, staying that fit put a strain on his body, and at his age, it's hard to keep that physique. So, hope the best for the man. I love you, Hugh Jackman. I love your accent. If you ever want to jump on the podcast, I might just stare at you the whole time. But yeah, that is my number three. Wolverine, James Howlett, Logan.
Should be a staring contest.
Yeah, I'd be like, you're so cute. He's like, what? And I was like, I gotta go, Franco. Sorry.
Number two. Number two. I think every kid loved him as a kid. Um, I still loved him. I never watched the second incarnation of him, but the first and third is always really good. Spider Man. I have
Wait,
yet
wait,
I have
wait.
yet
I'm
I
sorry.
have
I'm
yet to see
sorry.
the Amazing Spider-Man one and
He, this
two.
man said the first and third.
First and
Okay,
third.
so
I
you
guess I
just
have seen it with No Way Home,
you
but I do actually want to see the Amazing Spider-Man one and two and see what all the hype is about with you. But Spider-Man number two on my list.
I love that. I love your number two is Spider Man. Beautiful. Is there anything else you want to say about Spider Man? Just so you can get it off your chest. Like, not saying in a bad way. I'm just saying like anything that
If
you want to like further.
you know, we said what movies we're reviewing.
Hmm.
Last episode
Oh
0,
yeah, 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 yeah. That's
and if
true.
we go down the list of all 10
Spider Man's on there.
movies for this season,
Hmm.
I'm trying to pull it up. You
Hmm.
have Blade, which is today, X Men,
Uh-huh.
Blade 2, Spider Man, Daredevil, X Men 2, Hulk, The Punisher, Spider Man 2, Blade Trinity.
Yeah.
The one that's not on that list because we missed it, but I do want to review Spider Man 3. the one that is the best Spider-Man movie of all time.
Whoo! This
It'll
man's
probably be a
brave.
bonus episode. But anyways, what's your number two?
No, we
And
still have to do Spider-Man 3 either way. Like,
yeah, but
but my number two was Captain America is my number two. Chris Evans perfectly portrays Steve Rogers. Just so it's so beautiful, and I love him as Captain America more than I liked him as Johnny Storm, the Human Torch. There's just this beautiful redemption in the fact that I was like, hey, he played the Human Torch. How the hell is he gonna play Captain America? But then it was like, this is the MCU. This isn't the movies you saw before. So gosh, Chris Evans, I love your portrayal of Captain America. You will never be Buzz Lightyear. I'm sorry. I know you're trying your best. That belongs to Tim Allen. I don't care what Disney says or what they're trying to do with that storyline. You, sir, are not Buzz Lightyear, but you are Captain America. And I will, die on that hill. I will fight to keep you as Captain America. If you ever want to return, I know that right now Falcon's Captain America, but you, sir, truly embodied, and I hope they never reboot that franchise because it's just Chris Evans, you're a gem for that. Thank you for Captain America. Uh, excuse me. You make me your portrayal of him makes me feel good inside, and I was definitely Team Cap during the Civil War era. I worked at Walmart at the time, so they gave us tags, like little pins to put on, like circular pins, and you could be Team Cap or Team Iron Man. And I had both of them, and I'm stupid. I threw them away, but I had them both because I was moving, and I'm like, I got to get rid of stuff I don't need, and then I had both in my hand. I was like, sorry guys, but yeah, Captain America is my number two.
um, might as well jump in. That's my number one, Captain America. Everything you said
Nice.
about Chris Evans, his portrayal. I've always loved Captain America as a kid. The comics, that's the only thing I've
Mhm,
read.
mhm.
Comic wise, Captain America. Um, just fantastic, great. Although Chris Evans has one better role besides this one. This is
I
like
know where
number
you're going.
two. Number one is of course Scott Pilgrim as Lucas Lee.
Mm,
He portrayed that role perfect. Again, Scott
wow.
Pilgrim. I love Scott Pilgrim. I'll probably be that later on. But
Yeah.
yeah, Chris Evans was great. But not even just him. I'm excited to see what they do with the Falcon as Captain America for
Yeah.
part four.
Yeah.
I was hoping
Yes.
for
Oh my
Bucky
gosh.
to
Yes.
take over, but we
Yeah.
got the Falcon, so I'm not upset about it. I'm like, either way, both were good
Yeah.
ideas.
I'm
So
gonna watch it either way. Yeah.
I just want to see how how it plays out. But if Chris Evans ever does come back because of the multiverse, I would love to see him back. I will welcome him back.
Yeah. I would love to see that. Uh I think some would say his better role was where he came out with whipped cream on his nipples and cherries in Not Another Teen Movie. People might argue that that's the best because
It's the
people are
best
like,
portrayal.
"Oh, America's ass," and I'm like, "You've only seen his ass. You've only seen his ass. Like, have you
Damn
ever
right,
seen
it's
Not Another
America's
Teen
ass.
Movie? I've seen that man with whipped cream on his nipples." Keep up, people. But yeah, that's a perfect choice. That's number one. That was actually a battle for me because my number one is actually, come on, man, this is everybody's favorite character. My favorite character, all time number one. Oh my gosh, I'm kind of stumbling because I forgot his name. Hold on. He flew too close. This man flew too close to the sun. Some may say Icarus. Icarus from Eternals is my favorite. I'm just psyched. I'm messing with y'all guys. Please, that is not my number one. My number one is Spider-Man. Spider-Man,
Oh,
and I'm gonna put this in a general consensus of Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield is by far my favorite Spider-Man, but coming in at number two will always be Tobey Maguire. Even going back and watching the films right before No Way Home released, um, and I said going back, meaning that I just watched them again to really feel it. And I did, and I was like, you know what? Tobey Maguire played an excellent Peter Parker, an excellent Spider-Man, and there will be no denying that. He did. So if I had to list them, it'd be Garfield, Maguire, and then Holland at the very end. And I know people are gonna hate me and be like, Holland's the best. I'm like, no, Holland was Iron Man Jr. It took No Way Home for Holland to finally become Spider-Man. Okay, and that was always John Watts' thing from the get-go, from what I know of, is that he wanted the story arc to build to where the No Way Home would be him finally becoming his own Spider-Man, which is great, that's cool. but just don't introduce him like that to me, because that made me put him at the bottom of my list. You know, everything he was like, I want to be like Iron Man. I want to shut up. You're Spider-Man. You know, especially in Homecoming, where he's like, you can't take away my suit. I'm nothing without my suit. I'm like, bro, have the powers of a spider. What do you mean you're nothing without your suit? Imagine if Superman's like, I can't save the day, dude. I can't find my cape. It's like, are you serious? You're the Man of Steel. Nah, man, not without the cape. No, it doesn't make any sense. So, Spider-Man, since I was a kid, love Spider-Man. And me saying that I like Garfield, it isn't like, oh, he must have grown up in that. No, I grew up on Maguire. Okay, I did. In fact, I can even bring up a status. It's on. Go through my Facebook feed. You'll find it where I was strongly against Sony for ever trying to recast Tobey Maguire, and then I ate my words opening night for the Amazing Spider-Man. Okay, but there was Manny. You can see that. You can see that. I just told you I have cereal boxes with Tobey Maguire Spider-Man on them. So don't say I hated Maguire. You can't. If I'm gonna come at somebody and defend what I like and what I dislike, I got the receipts. The receipts. Yeah. Number one, Spidey, the webhead. Excuse me, your friendly neighborhood. Spider-Man is my number one.
Like how our list was flipped 1 and 2.
Yeah, I was kind of like, wait, if he put Captain America as his number, I was like, wait, if Spider-Man is number two, then Captain America could possibly be his number one. And I was like, can I have Spider-Man as my number one and then Captain America as my number two? So
Captain America is always
touche,
my number one.
touche, touche. I
But
love
yeah,
that.
that was our top 6 sinister list.
Yes, it was.
This week was Marvel characters. If you want to let us
Hmm.
know your top 6, you comment down below, or you can just DM us on Instagram. We don't have a Instagram page for Fanboy Podcast, but you can just slide into our personal DMs or whatever the hell you want. Um, Next week, this was your week to pick. So next week, I'm gonna pick top 6 sinister lists will be Marvel villains.
Villains, all right.
Yeah, I feel like we
Um,
should stick with Marvel for this season since we're reviewing Marvel films this season.
yeah, yeah. So villains, six of them, right?
Hmm.
That's the next one. Okay, cool. That way I can start making my list of Marvel villains that I really enjoy. And this is villains not as in just MCU. You're saying villains as a whole?
As a whole,
As
Marvel.
okay, awesome, cool. So I can step out of the bounds of what we've seen on
Hmm.
on. Hmm.
You can include Morbius like you want. Yes,
It's Morbin time, dude. I mean, there's no way. Jared Leto, that movie is so good,
number
dude.
one, man.
I mean, my favorite scene was when Matthew, is it Matt Tennant? Yeah, where he's dancing in front of the mirror to that stupid song. Gosh, I don't
Haven't
know,
watched
man.
it
We're
yet.
gonna have to review. We're gonna have to review it someday, and I'm sorry. Okay. Even though the steelbook looks really cool, I'm just waiting for it to drop in price. I'm like, I'm gonna buy you, but I'm not gonna spend close to $40 on this piece of film. I'm gonna wait until it drops, and then I'll go get it. But yeah, definitely that for my collection.
But yeah, that was the top 6 sinister list. Now we get into the movie.
Mm.
Today we're reviewing Blade, 1998. If you
Ooh.
want to hit us with a synopsis.
Yes, and I love this synopsis is brought to you by IMDb, where you can look up all your favorite movie info. If there's a character that you need the name of, IMDb has it. If you're looking for a nice review, IMDb has it. If you're wondering if you should take your kids to see this movie, IMDb has that too. Go subscribe to imdb.com and IMDb if you want to sponsor this podcast. We will gladly accept your sponsorship. Um, So here's the synopsis provided by IMDb. A half vampire, half mortal man becomes a protector of the mortal race while slaying evil vampires. Nice. Nice. That is the synopsis for Blade 1998.
It's a
Was
vampire movie.
good. Was yep. It is. If this isn't Twilight, guys. I'm not dogging on Twilight, but this isn't Twilight.
I don't know,
These
man.
vampires are being slayed in this film. They're not being hyped up to be good looking. They're being slain. My
Isn't
boy.
isn't Blade half vampire, half werewolf?
No, Blade is half vampire, half human.
No, he's half werewolf.
Why do you say he's half werewolf?
He's half werewolf, man.
He's
This
half
is what
vampire.
Twilight was based off of.
No, no. I'm like, wait, did we? Does you have a director's cut or something that I didn't see? Like, um, no, no, no. I'm questioning myself now. I was like, wait, I know I watched the same movie he did.
Hopefully.
Um, Yeah, I downloaded the wrong movie. Did yours have? No, I'm just kidding. So that was a synopsis brought to you by IMDb. So you know more or less, and I think that pretty much also sums up what you're gonna look at in this movie because this movie is very 1998, and if you were born in that era, okay, because I say this like there was such a theme when you would put a VHS into the VCR, and the way that trailers and stuff would come up, or when you watch trailers on TV commercials, trailers back then it was like you always had like a this summer Wesley Snipes, uh, Stephen Dorff in Blade, and then you'd hear like this, and it was like such a weird sound. There's all these cool scenes and everything, and I feel like that's such a vibe that I can't recreate just by singing and saying. You had
You
to
know
be
what? You
there.
you want to watch the trailer? I can play the trailer real quick.
Yeah, if you can. I haven't seen the trailer in forever, but if I'm correct, a lot of '90s films have that. So if I'm correct, we may just be I may just be right. And the '90s were a time.
Uh, Damn ad. Can you hear it?
It's not letting you pull it up. Oh, I can't hear it.
You can't hear that at all.
Nah,
Okay, cool.
we've been able to do it before, right? Like when you throw it up on the.
Oh no, it's playing the ad. I haven't done it yet, but I just want to make sure
Oh,
you can.
okay, it's playing the ad right now. Okay.
Yeah, I want to make sure I can't hear that stupid ad and it's get copyrighted.
Yeah, right. They strike us down because they're like, you played our ad. Really?
I might not be able to do it. What happened?
Eesh. Sorry, guys.
Let's see. We weren't prepared for this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry, guys. This was just on the spot.
Oh, I can't do it this episode.
Well, that's fine, man. The thing is, guys, go and look up the Blade trailer, just so you can get some type of feel for what the '90s were like and how it felt to watch these trailers. Oh,
Oh,
wait.
hold up, that's the
Oh,
wrong one. That's the wrong screen. Where's my mouse at, dude? Bada boom, bada boom, bada 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 boom, bada boom, bada boom. Let's see if you can
oh,
hear
cool,
it.
cool, cool. Let
Oh,
me see if you can try it.
can you hear it?
You
Cool.
better wake up. The world you live in is just a sugar-coated topping. There is another world beneath it. The real world.
For thousands of years, they have existed among us.
You keep your eyes open. They're everywhere. Chances are you've seen them yourself and didn't know it.
A secret nation
Our livelihood depends on our ability to blend in.
with a lust for power.
We should be ruling the humans. These people are our food.
They've got their claws into everything. Politics, finance, real estate.
There's a war going on out there. He makes the weapons. I use them.
Now, one will lead them to conquer mankind,
Tonight, the age of man comes to an end.
We're gonna be gods.
and one will try to stop him dead.
There are worse things out tonight than vampires.
Like what?
Like me.
Half human,
Blade's mother was attacked by a vampire while she was pregnant.
half immortal.
You got the best of both worlds. All our strengths, none of our weaknesses.
He is their greatest fear and our only hope.
It's open season on all vampires.
Wesley Snipes, Stephen Dorff,
You're one of them, aren't you?
No, I'm something else.
Blade.
Dude, give me an award. I have not seen that trailer in years. Did you? And then Wesley Snipes, Steven Dorff. I was
Only
so correct. I was
only
so
thing you
correct.
missed was coming this summer.
Yeah, that's the only thing that they didn't throw in there. But that's exactly how trailers in the '90s were, man. That was so it's rent free. That kind of stuff lives in my head, rent free. And I just, oh man, that was tough. And guys, I did not watch the trailer before doing this. I'm telling you the truth. That's just how they were, and it was almost spot on. I want to do that for a living. I want to be that guy. Wesley Snipes, Steven Dorff,
Um,
Blade.
Probably I'm doing that, airing the trailer before we start talking about the episodes now. The
Yeah.
cast and crew, as you heard, Wesley Snipes played Blade, and
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Dorff played Deacon.
Deacon Frost
And
and
if you want to say the other main
uh
people,
yeah, Chris Christopherson as Whistler, and oh, I feel bad. Karen, well, in Bush Wright played Karen. Sorry if I butchered your name. And then out of the main characters, Donal Logue as Quinn. Donal Logue, I liked him as Harvey Bullock in the Gotham series. But I have a lot to say about him in this film because just
I never watched Gotham, but
don't feel bad, man. The first season's solid. After that, it was just kind of you had to.
oh, so it's like The Walking Dead.
No, The Walking Dead had a round of good seasons. You're not gonna say after the first season of The Walking Dead it fell off. You're gonna say after Glenn's death it fell off.
Yeah, after season.
And that was like what, almost 8 or 9 seasons in.
What
So
was that, 8? That was like 6.
yeah, I think it was like
Really?
8 or 9 seasons in.
It's still going on. It's still airing.
The final season's on right now.
Damn. Next thing is favorite scenes. You wanna give a rating before we do favorite scenes, and then come back later on and re-rate it if we change anything after talking about it?
Yeah, if you want. We can rate
Okay.
it right now.
1998 vampire movie. When I was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
I watched this movie.
Yes.
This was a movie. As a kid, I probably shouldn't have been watching to begin with, honestly. But as a kid, I put this shit on fucking repeat
Mm,
every day. Not every day, probably almost like every other day. This was one of my favorite movies.
nice.
Wesley Snipes plays a really good Blade.
Mm,
I loved everything about it as a kid.
mm.
So whenever I put it up back on to rewatch it, I was excited. I told you in episode 0 that I put it on Netflix. I was on my phone for the first 10 minutes, so I wasn't paying attention. So like, you know what? I need to turn this off. Put me on my phone, and I'll rewatch it later on. I watched it a couple weeks later. It was off of Netflix. I was like, God damn it! Fucking 2 weeks. Y'all take it off.
Oh shit.
But luckily I have the DVD, so I want to go back. I have all 3 DVDs because I was, like I said, it was my
Nice.
favorite
Nice.
movie as a kid.
Yeah.
I watched it yesterday. Did not live up to what I expected.
Mm.
But I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm not paying attention to again. So I watched it 2 hours before this podcast. Did not live up to what I expected, but it was a solid movie.
Okay.
We are
okay.
rating out of 6 Infinity Stones.
Mhm.
I'll give this movie 4 Infinity Stones.
Nice. That's honestly really good. I'd say because I had only seen it when I was a kid, but did not burn out. Like as you said, you watched it a lot. I didn't watch a lot as a kid. I remember maybe less than a handful of times I watched it because I just thought it was like really, really freaking cool. And then I would watch bits and pieces every time it was rerun on TV constantly. But going back to watch it as an adult, I do agree that it is a very solid film. Now, it's not over the top like, oh my gosh, that's the best film I've ever seen. No, I feel it's more like a solid film. Like for what it was at the time, I can see why it made Marvel money. I definitely can see why people were like, oh my gosh, this is badass. Because I'll get more into it later. I'm just going to get my rating right now. I would give it a solid 3 stones. And I think that's fair because 3 is the halfway point. And yeah, a solid 3 to me. is what I'm gonna put it at. So that to me that's a higher ranking. If you ever hear me give it half a stone or 1 stone,
Or
you
no
know,
stones.
or no stones at all, I'm just like no, keep the
Eternals.
gauntlet without the stones.
Um, this movie we're about to talk about our favorite scenes, but I don't know if you felt this way whenever that music you heard, they'll
Mhm.
play it. It reminded me of obviously the '90s. It also
Yeah.
reminded me of Matrix. They do a
Yes.
couple moves that like you're like the remind me of
Yeah. Yeah.
Matrix, also scary movie. I looked it up to see. I was like, I'm curious. Did Matrix come out before this, or did it come out after?
It came out after, didn't it?
hmm
So
People
Matrix
remember that
borrowed
shit
from
from
Blade.
Matrix. Yeah, and Matrix borrowed from Blade. I don't know if Blade was the first one to do it, but like it borrowed from Blade because Blade made a lot of money. I think it made. I forgot to look that up. I think it was like 78 million at the box office worldwide.
Damn.
I could be wrong. I need to look it up. I haven't.
Do they say it on IMDb or no?
I feel like they do, but I could be wrong.
Because sometimes I know they've done like box office at the top. I think. Metascore. More like this. You know what? Let me see if I can pull up Google.
131.2 million.
Oh my gosh, dude, are you serious? What was the what was its budget? Let me see.
45 million.
Wow, dude, that is good.
So more than triple.
That is freaking
But
good.
yeah, Matrix borrowed from Blade. I'm assuming. I thought that was hilarious thinking about it and everything. Because I've never really seen Matrix, like sat down and fully watched it, but I remember scenes
Hmm.
and all that. I remember Scary Movie making fun of Matrix.
Yeah, when they fight Ghostface, right? It was Sydney fights Ghostface
Yeah, yeah.
in
When she's
Scary
doing it,
Movie.
she also
Yeah.
does like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
dance.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but favorite scene, I had a few of them, but like one of them, just throw out there is the opening scene inside the club.
Mm.
Like that one, I remember a lot of when I was a kid, and it
Mm.
shot for shot. Whenever the dude that's the humans running from the vampires and like he's crawling on the floor and then Blaze right there. I think that was a perfect shot.
Yes.
And the whole fight scene I thought was really good. I enjoyed that
Yeah.
scene
Hmm.
beginning to end. And I had something in my head I was gonna say. Can't remember. But yeah, the opening scene was like one of my favorite scenes.
Um, my favorite scenes to me would be any scene that dealt with fighting or when he's just being a total badass, like Blade was being a badass. And I think the reason I say that it's like any time that he does is because I feel like one of my favorite scenes is when he's fighting Quinn near the bus. He fights him near the subway, and he sticks his head against the thing while it's coming, the bus, like he pushes his head against it. Reminded me of whenever Spider-Man throws Sandman against the subway, and it's in Spider-Man 3, and half of Sandman's face is being ripped off, and in Blade, and I was just like, isn't that funny? That like you could put these two side by side, and you'll see like where the inspiration was drawn. No offense to Sam Raimi, I love you, but I thought that scene was badass. Um, but then every scene too, though, because I feel like this movie was made at a time where like CGI wasn't heavily relied on, and I think they did well with what they had. You know what I mean? You see it here and there, but it doesn't. To me, it never felt over the top because I think it came out. There are movies that came around this era where they were like, "Oh, we have CGI, let's use it as much as we can," even though it looked completely crappy. And then there are those movies that are like, "Let's try to avoid CGI as much as possible, but we may need to use it for when Blade's jumping on a rooftop or doing this or doing that, or when the vampires are disintegrating." And so I never felt like it was an overuse of CGI. I felt like it was just the right thing. And another thing is that I like that Blade is hand to hand combat. You know, he has his blades, he has his guns, his fist, and I think that's what some MCU films lack is the hand to hand. Like one of the reasons I really like Doctor Strange, I know aside from this, but Doctor Strange where there was hand to hand fights, and I like that in movies for some reason. Like I like when characters beat the shit out of each other using their fists because it's like really cool to see. Like in No Way Home, whenever Spider-Man fights the Green Goblin at the end, That was so badass to me. Or when he fights him in the hallway too,
Mhm.
because it's just hand to hand. It's raw. It's quiet. It's so cool. Sam Raimi did an amazing job with the fight scenes in the first Spider-Man films because it's quiet. It's raw. You feel like you're sitting there in front of them watching them fight. So I think that was really cool to go back and see this movie and be like, I think the fight scenes were handled really well. So I would say any fight scene in this film definitely had a thumbs up for me.
But yeah, one thing I enjoyed about Marvel was this movie was that Marvel movies now are it's owned by Disney, so they're more cheesy and for kids and all that stuff. While this one was obviously in the '90s. What was the rating? Was it rated R or was
It
it
was R.
PG-13?
It was
It
R.
was R,
Yeah,
right?
it's rated R. Yeah.
And it wasn't cheesy. It was cheesy for for me watching it now from like, oh, it's a '90s cheesy, but I'm pretty sure at the time it wasn't cheesy for the people back then.
Yeah, for the people that sat there through opening night, they were like, "Oh my gosh," you know. And now Marvel, because it's owned by Disney, they hold back on showing blood, which makes no damn sense.
It makes me wonder
Mm.
how they're gonna do the new Blade movie because like it's vampires. You need to show some blood, but I don't know.
It just bothers me, man, because I'm like, Ronin's out there killing people in game, and there's no blood on his katana, and I'm just like, in what world? In what? Or if they do die or they're killed, it's just a small puddle, and I'm like, in what world do we bleed just puddles? I'm like, come on, Marvel. And it's like I always have this argument. Well, I've heard people say, well, like I didn't feel like it was like it was very kid friendly, and I'm sitting there like, okay, these are PG-13 films, meaning that if unless you're 13 years old, parental guidance is needed, meaning that they're gonna be made for 13 and up. That's what they're made for. You know what I mean? So why not make it like that? That's the thing that bothers me is that Disney comes along and they're like, well, we don't want to push it because we want to. And I had said this when Disney was going to buy Marvel. I'm like, everything is going to change. They're going to dumb it down. And people are like, no, trust in Disney because some people are so on Disney for some reason. They think that Disney can't do wrong. And I don't understand that. Grow up. But they're like, no, like Disney can't do it wrong. They're in the right hands. And then you see this and it's like, what? Even when I'm watching these newer Star Wars ones, I'm like, you just stab somebody with a lightsaber. Like at one point in the Kenobi series, a stormtrooper's hit with a lightsaber. Hit? Lightsabers would slice. They're made of a freaking light. That would slice through, and instead it just hits the chest piece, and I'm like, sitting there like, I'm gonna throw myself at the TV. Not anything. I'm gonna throw my phone. I'm gonna throw myself. Um, but yeah, man. That bothered me, but I agree with you. I want them to be grittier again. The MCU did not start for kids. That's not what it started for. It started for fans who are mainly adults. So keep it like that, Disney. I'll fight Walt Disney, even if he's probably, they say he's frozen, his head's frozen. I'll find it, beat the shit out of it, because I'm tired of this.
But yeah, that was my favorite scene and favorite things about it. It was like less kid like.
Mhm.
I do want to go back to that. Least favorite scenes or plot holes or anything you did not like or that was a
I
hold
can't say that. Well, do you have a least favorite scene? Is there anything that you're like, eh?
up. Least favorite plot holes or what would you have done better is what I was trying to think of. But least favorite scene wise, I think I have a couple. One scene
Mhm.
was whenever he was with Deacon out in the daylight and Deacon had the little girl. He he threw her and like Blade's just running and the bus is coming, but like Blade isn't like going like light like you can't tell that he's like using like super speed or some bullshit. He's just going and it's like looks like he's like running at normal speed and he gets there before the bus. I'm like, okay. Like I know you probably use super speed because I think he's fast, isn't he?
Yeah,
But it didn't look
because the
that
vampires
way.
are fast. Yeah.
It didn't look that way. I know whenever Deacon used it, like it looked like he used super speed.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So that was like one scene that bothered me. Another one was the
Mm.
for people who don't know about the comics, people who don't know about Blade and all that, was the backstory. It was like a quick, 30 seconds, minute backstory.
Yeah, man.
You
And
got you got some within the movie, but like for just the opening scene, I didn't really care
Yeah,
for that too much.
yeah, I feel you on that. I feel you on the. I was thinking about the back scene because I was thinking about This didn't sound weird. I was thinking about his mom, but just because like the whole scene and then later on she comes in, I say yeah they rushed through his story like at the beginning like super fast. They're just like oh we made a really cool movie and at the end they're like yo we didn't do a story. The director was like oh yeah. So I feel you on that. I didn't. Quinn's character pissed me off, man, and I feel like they took it way too long to kill him. And then what was so dumb is he'd act all badass and then like cower. You know, he'd be like, "We're gonna kick your ass, Blade," and then like, like I got annoying. I was like, I can't stand you. So I would say that. I would say some of the dialogue was it like here or there. The dialogue was or like it just some scenes felt quiet and slow. You know, in that film, some scenes were quiet and slow. Uh, and I think that's where I had my problems. Because overall, as a movie, I still thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think it was a solid film. I think it's a solid film. I that's just my personal opinion. Um, I didn't hate it, and to go back and watch it as an adult, I was like, I see why this movie did so well. I see why people enjoyed it. I wanted to buy the steelbook version, which no, if Best Buy exclusive, it's sold out, and but I bought the 4K version, and I was just like, give me all you have to offer, Wesley Snipes. Give me all you have to offer. So what I'm hoping for is that maybe they fix some of these in the sequel once we get around to that, and I see how well they played with the how this continues. I hope they didn't rely heavily on CGI though. That's what I'm kind of scared of for the sequel.
I also didn't like the cinematography. I guess like
Mm.
the blue tint shade of the movie.
Mm. Yeah.
I didn't like that. Like it felt.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know this was before it, but it felt like Twilight to me.
Mm. Yeah. Twilight always seemed like it was dim,
Hmm.
like they had that shade that made it look like it was always cloudy outside.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
forgot to mention my favorite scene when you're talking about Quinn. I loved it whenever he finally got murdered, and then he has the sunglasses on, and like he's
Yeah.
getting murdered. They just go in the air, and then Blaze just catches him.
Oh
That
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
the whole
yeah.
fight scene montage begins. I'm like, I love that scene. That one was pretty dope.
Yeah, that was dope.
Anything else you want to talk about the movie before we get into taglines?
No, I think as a whole, because I know from here on we're not gonna talk too much about it. As a whole, this is for anybody that wants to go watch Blade. I think this is a fun film. I think it's a solid film. I think it's definitely one that you should probably like at least sit through to enjoy, especially for the time being. This movie really did save Marvel at a time where Marvel was basically selling their property to anybody who would give them a chance, and it was really a shot in the dark with this one because they didn't think the world was ready for like films like this, and that's why so many people don't know that Blade was a Marvel film because you watch it, you don't think that. You think, oh, it's just a badass dude with a really nice haircut fighting vampires. In reality, it's like, no, this is Blade. This is a Marvel character. So, I stick to my solid three on that. I'm gonna keep those 3 stones. And I enjoyed it. I did. Shout out to Blade. Good stuff. Good
Yeah,
stuff.
I enjoyed it as well. Like I said, I enjoyed it when I was a kid. The first
Mhm.
rewatch, I didn't enjoy it. I think I was on my phone yesterday. I was just wasn't paying too much attention to it.
Yeah.
But today, I really did enjoy it. It was a good film. We don't want to be doing
Yeah.
like a breakdown scene by scene by scene by scene. We'll just be listening like our favorite, least favorite scenes, and then talk a little bit about the movie. And um,
Yeah.
it was really good. The another thing I forgot to mention was the mom. Whenever towards the ending, the mom was they're about to like start fighting. It looked like they were about to like make out. Whenever he was they were leaning in, and she's like, "I'm your mom." I was like, I was also like, "I'm your mom." Like, where the fuck have you been the past 30 years of my life? What the fuck do you mean? I'm your mom. You're just another person to me as well.
Yeah. You know, one of the weirdest scenes, it's not even my least favorite, it was weird, is when I don't want to get her name wrong. When Karen's like, you can suck my blood. And it's like a full on sex scene. because he's like biting her, and she's like, "Don't stop," and like she's moaning, and he's moaning, and I was like, "You're just sucking. Why is this?" It's like the director's like, "I'm not gonna do a sex scene, but I am gonna make sweet love to your neck. Okay, Blade, you're gonna make sweet love to this woman's neck." And I was just sitting there like, okay. Like I never felt like if, you know, if somebody walked in on me, they'd be like, "What are you watching?" I'd be like, "It's just a dude sucking blood. That's all it is. There's nothing bad on the screen. It's just a dude sucking blood." But if you weren't watching the film and heard that, you would think otherwise. So that was weird to me. I don't know why that was such a thing. I don't get that. I
Yeah,
don't.
that was
So that
pretty
was
weird.
weird. That was pretty weird.
But after that, we did the rating again, re-rating. I still give it a 4. He used a 3. That's what's that average? 3.5, right? I
Yeah, right?
think so. Doesn't matter. You saw the ratings. Taglines. Tagline for this movie that I saw was "The power of an immortal, the soul of a human, the heart of a hero."
Ooh.
I really didn't think of anything for this film. I
I
haven't.
actually no.
No, I haven't thought of anything.
I had a tagline, but then when we were watching the trailer, I got another one. So my tagline was like, "Slain vampires never looked so good." That was my like little tagline for Blade. But then my other tagline is, "There are some things worse than vampires," because he says that in the film.
Hmm.
It said like there are some things worse than vampires. And I think that would be pretty cool, like Blade. There are some things worse than vampires. It's like, oh, I'm starting to say a vampire. Blade, motherfucker. That's who's worse than a vampire. So that would be the slogan. There are some things worse than vampires.
It's
I'm gonna
pretty good.
actually jot that down.
We can
So if we ever come back to like what we liked or what our favorite taglines are.
mhm. I would go with Matrix stole it from us,
Yes, we did it
or
first.
this was Twilight before Twilight.
Yikes. Yikes. I don't hate
But
Twilight.
if I've never watched it, to be fair. I know Tiff loves it. I want to watch it, but it's not on Netflix anymore, so I haven't watched it. But if we do use lines, one of my favorite lines was Jesus, it was just in my head. Take the shot next time, or take the shot.
Mm, nice.
Also, we didn't go over the different type of people in this film. Those vampires. There was I forgot the names for them, but that one guy who loves vampires and wants to be one. I forgot the exact name of
Oh.
it, but that dude was like hilarious. Like she sprayed him with the garlic, and she's like, "Is this garlic?" She's like,
Oh
"Yeah,
yeah.
it's supposed to kill vampires." Who said I was a vampire? And then Blade, no one, just over there fucking decking him and shit.
Yeah.
I was like, why the hell
Yeah.
did you even
I feel.
exist? He's over there. He is the epitome of this podcast. He is the fanboy of vampires.
Yes, he is. He's the Well, when we get your name, welcome to the club. Maybe you could sit down and tell us why you took that role. Or we can just have a Twilight fan sit down and explain why vampires are cool.
Hey, vampires are cool, man. Before
I'm not saying that
Twilight.
they're not cool. I'm just saying there's so many renditions of vampires. You know, you have the Van Helsing vampires, D. Jackman. Um, you have the Twilight vampires. You have the Blade vampires. You have the 30 Days of Night vampires, Josh Hartnett. Like there are
Nosferatu.
like so many. Huh?
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu. Nosferatu. That's what I think of when I think of Nosferatu.
It's not a SpongeBob podcast.
It's okay. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy are superheroes, though.
We gotta review that next.
We do.
Do you want to do fan cast first, or do you want to get into everybody's favorite segment from Friday the 14th?
Let's fan cast before I waste my breath.
Okay. Fan cast. We have what's his name? That's gonna be playing Blade, like because the Blade's
It's
ready. going to be coming out
It's
soon.
Marshawn.
Ali.
Is that it? Marshawn Tali? I forget his name. You know what's funny is that originally the
Yeah,
what is his name?
Marshala Ali.
Marshala Ali.
I can't tell you pronounce it. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could butcher his name.
Yeah, no, yeah, Marshala Ali. You know what's funny is that originally the Netflix series, the Netflix Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and Iron Fist were all supposed to be in the MCU. In fact, Kevin Feige wanted to put Luke Cage, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and uh, Iron Fist in Avengers Infinity War, but he didn't think that everybody had gone to watch all the separate series, so they wouldn't understand these characters. And in reality, some people didn't even understand who Charlie Cox was when he appeared in No Way Home. Now that the Marvel film, now that Disney Plus has all these series that are canon, people are going to watch the series before they go see the newest movies, so they're caught up. So originally, every character that existed in these series was supposed to be canon to the MCU. So Marshala Ali played Cottonmouth in the first season of Luke Cage. So when I saw that he was casted as Blade, I was like, "What? You're Cottonmouth. You can't be Blade, you know?" But now they're not canon. But then it's like, "Oh, but Daredevil's canon. That's still Charlie." So I'm like, makes sense, Marvel, because this is not the first time they do it. They also did it with one of the characters in Civil War who gets pissed off at Tony Stark because her son died in the events of Avengers: Age of Ultron. She's also in Luke Cage, and I remember seeing that and being like, "No, if this is still canon." But what ended up happening is that when the Disney merge happened, that 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 Marvel, these people that made all the series for Marvel, they were supposed to go to Disney Plus altogether, right? But then Marvel execs from the MCU and the directors of these shows started butting heads because these MCU guys were like, "We want to change this up," and the original guys were like, "No, like this is how we want it." So because they butted heads, Marvel was like, "Screw it, we're not doing this after all," which to me is pretty messed up. Because Marvel should have just kept those, because those are grittier shows. If you go watch the Netflix shows, they're grittier. You know, you have Kingpin bash this dude's head in with a car door in the first season of Daredevil. And that's what I want. I'm sorry, but I want that. I don't want the Kingpin from, Hawkeye. Yes, Vincent D'Onofrio, I love him, and I'm glad he reprises. Again, there you go. Vincent D'Onofrio is still Kingpin, but I want to see him get angry. He's not dead. He's not dead. But like, so yeah. So I'm happy for Mashallah Ali. I'm glad that Marvel fixed that one away because they also opened the multiverse. So who knows? But would that also be your choice for a fan cast? Like,
Um,
or did you have somebody else in there?
I'm looking forward to seeing it because I've never seen him as an actor in any movie
Okay.
that I'm aware of, at least.
Hmm.
But I had two people in mind. For fan cast, we're gonna be doing just the main character, the titular character, which today's Blade.
Yeah.
Um, I think these two will be really good picks. The first one I'm gonna say is, I think, a little bit older. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's older. I don't know how old Wesley Snipes was when he played Blade, but I would love to see Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Prize that role.
Oh, I love Idris Elba. I loved him as Bloodsport in Suicide Squad. But I love
Yeah,
Idris
I
Elba.
I
Like
loved
he's
him
been.
in Hobbs and Shaw.
Yes, he was also Heimdall in the MCU, and he was in the second Ghost Rider film, Spirit of
Oh,
Vengeance. Yeah, I love Idris Elba. I've also heard him rap. So
yeah,
yeah,
he rapped
dude's
with Connor
crazy.
Price.
Yeah, dude, the dude's crazy. Dude's good. I love him. He seems like a genuine guy. What the fuck? The hot ones with Sean Evans. I always think of that when I think of Idris Elba. Have you ever seen that clip where he's eating the wing? He's like, what the fuck? I
I
don't
don't
know.
think
It's
so.
like a meme. It's a meme now. So I love Idris Elba. I think that's a good casting. Did you have somebody other than Idris Elba? Because it sounded like you had two
Um,
people.
yeah, one more person who's become one of my favorite actors. Recently, well, not recently, but one of my favorite actors. Michael B. Jordan.
He's Killmonger, so he can't be Blade. But that is,
Yeah,
I love Michael B. Jordan. I love Fruitvale Station. I love Chronicle. I love that he's Adonis Creed. That he's the predecessor of Rocky, basically.
yeah, I
I
love the
think he's
Creed
doing a
movies.
perfect job, and I cannot wait till Rocky 3, which is supposed to drop in November of this year. I mean, Rocky 3, Creed 3. I think Michael B. Jordan is phenomenal. I think he's so cool.
You forgot that
Um,
awkward moment.
that awkward moment with
Zac Efron,
isn't
Miles
it
Teller.
Zac Efron and Miles Teller, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm just making sure I had that right. I saw that movie on my birthday when it first came out. Um, I love that. I always remember that scene where I don't know if it's Zac Efron who's taking a piss in the restroom and he's laying on the toilet. And he's like, "Why are you laying on the toilet?" He's like, "Cause I woke up with morning wood or something like that." And he's like laying sideways,
the
and I
clinky.
just thought that, yeah, I just thought that was funny. Um, but yeah, Michael B. Jordan was in that as well. I tend to watch whatever he puts out. There are a couple of movies as of recent that I haven't watched, like one on Amazon, but yeah, I think that's great casting. Michael B. Jordan and even Idris Elba. I think those are good. For my fan cast, wait, was that it? Was that your fan? Was that? I don't want to interrupt. Was that it?
Um, yeah, I mean, you can include Wesley Snipes because I'd love to see have him reprise his role. But yeah, just
Yes,
those two.
because yeah. I forgot we have another segment later on, which I'll talk more on Wesley Snipes and but mine was Yahya Abdul Mateen the second. That is my fan cast, and he played Candyman in the recent
Oh, okay.
Candyman, and he played Black Manta in Aquaman. And for some reason, I can just see him playing Blade. There's also this actor from uh, the recent Invisible Man. Let me see, the 2020 film. Who's in it? Yeah. His name's Aldris. Wait, Aldous Hodge. This guy right here, Aldous Hodge. Um, but he's playing Hawkman in Black Adam. So he's those guys are already pretty much they're booked for roles. But I would
Imagine,
have
can
huh?
you imagine The Rock as Blade?
Oh gosh. I don't. Well, the thing is, like, because I see Rock more as Samoan, so I think that's what. And then he'd be bald because for some. Well, Blade has been bald, but that'd be a huge ass Blade. I don't think any vampires would fight him. I want to give credit though to the costume in this film. I thought it was so good, man. What Blade
Yeah,
wore, that was so freaking good. I think he even rode his motorcycle, right? He had his motorcycle in this film,
I think so.
didn't
Yeah, yeah.
he? Yeah, I thought that was, dude. That was so freaking cool. Um, uh, so those are really good. That was really good. But do you know who Michael J. White is? He played Spawn.
Yeah, yeah.
I always wanted to see him in some type of MCU film. I would even say Blade, but again, I also want to see him play Spawn again. Like I just want to see him embody that role again. But I think Michael J. White needs to be added to the DCEU or the MCU at some point because they are sleeping on him um, drastically. Marvel, DC, get your shit together. Uh, stop sleeping on Michael J. White. Plus, he also knows martial arts, so it's not like they'd have to train him. The guy already trains in it himself, so it's like you're you don't even gotta waste money to put him through a training camp.
Yeah.
Plus, he's super swole, so he's already fit. You know what? Come on the podcast at some point, Michael J. All right, here I am giving you all this praise. I want to talk to you. You're a cool guy.
Oh,
But
I'm
yeah,
very
so that
curious of
was
you.
that was all my fan casting. Um, yeah,
Yeah, that's it for
yeah,
the fan cast. If you have any ideas of who you would fan cast as Blade,
yeah.
other than what we listed, or if you hate our
Hmm.
ideas, or if you love our ideas, comment down below on
Yeah.
YouTube and let us know that you love this or hate this. And again, you can send to our DMs. We don't have a official fanboy podcast IG, but you can send to our personal DMs and
Mm.
mail us. We might write you back and tell you to fuck off, but that's the chance you're willing to take.
Right?
Before we get into the last, I'll make it the last segment because it's everybody's favorite segment. Everybody wants to hear come back from Friday the 14th. But
I do.
another segment is should we include this in the MCU? So MCU or MC no? Should Blade be in canon now in the MCU or no? Wesley Snipes Blade.
Yes.
I'll let you go. Yes.
Yeah. I was like, I don't want to talk unless if he's gonna go, I'm letting him go. But yes, I think that I think it'd even be cool if like we have Blade as a mentor to this new Blade. Um, that'd be
He disappeared.
sorry, I was getting a phone call. Yeah. Um, I think that would be so badass if we have him come as a mentor, or just now that the multiverse has opened up. I think it'd be badass if at some point he's just Blade. You know what I mean? At some point he breaks through, and it's just Blade. Like it's Wesley Snipes as Blade again. So, I figure now because of the multiverse, everything is somewhat canon. You know, who is this movie made by? You know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna say everything's canon at this point. I mean, we got the X-Men, we got the Spider-Man. So yeah, I would say MC yes on this. Definitely MCU for me.
I
Come
agree.
on, Marvel.
I would love to see, like I said, what stands for prizes, bro, as Blade. I didn't
Hmm.
even think about being a mentor, but yeah, that would be perfect. Have him as a mentor for the new Blade, and it was directed by Stephen Norrington.
Wow. I was gonna say his friend's name. What was it again? The one that made all his weapons.
I forgot. Let me see. Abraham Whistler.
Whistler. I would say even if he like came back as even if Blade was the Whistler of this newer film,
Hmm.
that'd be cool. The one that makes all of Blade's equipment. You know, that'd be cool. I think that'd be cool. And you know what hurts, man, is that Blade was introduced into the MCU already at the end of Eternals.
I didn't fully watch
And
all
you don't
that.
see him. So don't feel bad. It's just his fucking voice. The audacity, dude. And why waste that on that movie? Oh, Marvel. I'd have slapped you on the face. Just gonna stay quiet because then these eternal lovers are gonna come for me. You don't understand good art. All you fanboys don't want. Shut up. Been watching movies for years. Shut up. Or cry to somebody else. I don't have time for you. I'll shit on your favorite movie. I don't care.
I don't think
Damn.
anybody's favorite movie is Eternals.
I mean, everybody wanted Multiverse of Madness to be a 2.5 hour film, and we didn't get that. Said we got Eternals. Fuck. I don't. Oh my. Oh, dude.
Since your blood is already boiling,
It's boring, dude.
might as
Marvel
well
pissed me off.
segue into our new returning segment, the fight list, Manny. The fight list.
Yes,
I
Manny
know.
Chill.
I know you've been waiting to get on a podcast
Oh man, I
and
want high blood
fight
pressure.
everybody through this fucking screen.
I will fight. I will. I I became a pacifist over the past year, and I held my tongue, and I stopped passing fists. Instead, I kept them to myself, and I didn't get angry, and I thought I would see a change in my attitude, but no, I didn't. I didn't get better. I didn't become a happier person. Instead, I just held back what I wanted to say and had no venue to vent my frustration or my hate. But now I have one. Now I have one, and I'm back. And if I offend or upset, go cry to your mom or dad or whoever it is that you run into the arms of when somebody makes you mad. Just don't come to me. Or you don't come to me, I'll fight. I already said I'll fight y'all. I don't care. I don't care. So usually the way this goes is it's either I want to fight somebody and IMDb reviews. And because me and Franco pretty much gave this a 3.5 and all, right? That's what we went to.
Yeah.
3.5. I'm gonna look for the people that scored. And what's so cool is now IMDb they have this little chart, and it's 1 through 10 for the ratings. And it seems that the highest rating on IMDb is a 7.1, and that's mostly people give it sevens and then drop to eights. But the lowest they went was a 1. And in fact, I'm gonna click on it right now. Okay, okay. Okay. All right, coming in January 7th, 2004. It says KYR Leon said this movie is a total piece of shit. Wow. This film is total crap. The plot, the acting, the special effects, everything in this movie is terrible. Even diehard fans must recognize this movie is a shame. Listen, dumb bitch. This movie was made in '98. You know what you sound like? You sound like somebody who watched these films.
You're on mute. Your mic's muted.
Can you
I
hear
can hear
me?
you now. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I muted my mic. My brother was calling me. Oh my god, everybody wants to call me when I'm doing podcasts. I don't understand that. They don't want to call me all day. It's just like, oh, now he's busy. Let's bother him. Um, Now I'm mad. Okay, I'm even. This movie was made in '98. Okay, you sound like somebody who got out of watching a fucking film in the '80s and were like, the graphics were shit. Yeah, what did you expect, fucker? You sound like somebody who played Atari for the first time and was like, this is shit. Yeah, no shit. That was the beginning of. No, I don't understand this. Even diehard fans. Oh my, dude, it's bad enough at the time. Y'all weren't even getting movies like this made if you were a diehard fan. Yeah, you had Batman out and Superman out, but superhero films from Marvel? That was still new. I mean, yes, Marvel had their TV shows going on, their Lou Ferrigno Hulk and stuff like that. In earlier years, I get that. But to be mad, it says this film is, no, this film was not total crap. It wasn't. I thoroughly enjoyed this film. I think it was solid. It was very solid. And the fact that you have KY as the first two letters of your name, why don't you use some on your ass and shove something up there, okay? Because you need to just shut up, all right? Shut up. You sound stupid. You
Did you read
sound
the?
stupid.
Did you read the whole thing?
Wait, is there more?
Yeah. If you click on it.
There's more. Oh, thank you, Franco. Why did you like this? Can't even spell. Wow, there you go. Why did you like this? I can't find nothing. I can't find anything. Okay, your grammar's horrible. No wonder you think your review means something. I can't find nothing remarkable, interesting, well done, or enjoyable in the movie. Or is it the sunglasses, the lame action scenes, the stupid plot, the music, intelligence in the world is heading towards extinction? You went to go see a movie about a man who fights vampires, and you in your review with intelligence in the world is heading towards extinction. You know what this sounds like? That sounds like if I went to go watch Shrek and then fucking complain because it wasn't an Oscar-worthy film. How stupid that sounds. These films are not made to challenge you. Oh my dude, what does this guy find good? I don't even want to know. I bet if you were to chill with him, you'd be at his house watching National Geographic. Yeah, that's a piece of art right there. That right there, that is true cinematography. You sound no. I don't know if you're still alive, KY. I don't know if you're still alive. But you've made it on my fight list because that is the dumbest shit I've ever. You're getting pissed off at a film made in '98 over, and that's just because it's. This was a film. This okay. So this was a review made in 2004. I pray to God that this person's still alive, because if you thought this film was bad, oh Lord, oh Lord, I can name some films that are bad, that are bad. This man had the audacity to say the music. What, 90s techno? What did you expect? It's even in the damn trailer. You know what makes me even more sad is the fact that the fact that it's 2004. Trailers were available at the time. Okay, you could have watched a trailer before you sat yourself to this movie, especially a movie that was made in '98. So you purposely did this to yourself. You're pathetic. You're bored. You're stupid. And I'm pretty sure you have no friends. And that's why you went to IMDb to write your stupid little review, KY. Right? I hate you. You've officially made it on my list, and that's just your name. Your name's KY from now on. KY. KY is that's your name. It's Kai. You suck ass. You're stupid. Oh my gosh. Oh, Dude, I just read another review and my blood started boiling. I need to get away. I need to get away. Just the first sentence was like, this movie is not only insulting, but it never gets above trash. I just Okay. Forgive me guys for burping. I didn't know that monsters made me burp, and now I'm pissed. Um,
Not the kind of movie you want your children or grandchildren to watch. It's not a kids
um
movie.
yeah, you know what? I definitely take all my kids to watch rated R films. Oh my.
We rated it at 1, but that was only because there was no number at IMDb any lower.
And this was in 1999. They made this in 1990. Dude, oh my
This ain't
gosh.
the only 1-star review they have left on IMDb. They left Drop Dead Gorgeous 1 out of 10, Dogma 1 out of 10, and they gave Return to Lonesome Dove 5 out of 10.
You know what scares me is that like, did these people? Did they? I feel like
This review was 1999.
yeah, 99. So they did Blade. They did do Return. They did. Okay, I was hoping that they covered that they covered what's that movie called Matrix. Because if they had left Matrix a good review, I was about to fly to their house and beat the absolute shit out of them. I'm not saying Matrix is a bad film, guys. I'm just saying I'm not gonna listen to somebody who went to go watch a film like Blade talk down on it like that and then go see Matrix and talk up on it. Because in reality, both of them use CGI, and in fact, CGI was used less in this film because if you don't remember, if you can't recall, if you go watch the first Matrix when he fights all the was it Agent Smith? If you look at the CGI, because they try to reduplicate Agent Smith, there are multiple times you see that all of them do not even look the same. They look way off. Some of the CGI is just beyond horrible. Again, I'm not dogging. I love Keanu Reeves, but if
Your
you know,
your audio sounds weird.
wait, does it? Hold on.
Yeah, it sounds like
Can you hear it?
it's like a little staticky.
Shoot. Hello, hello, hello. Let me see. Okay, how about now?
Still staticky, yeah.
Still staticky? That's weird, dude. Hold on. Let me see something. You know what? Hold up. Can you hear me? You can hear me?
Yeah, it still sounds staticky though.
It's still dude, that's weird. I don't know what's going on. I'm not near anything that I even took off the earphones.
Mm-hmm.
Should I?
Weird.
Let me see. Staticky still?
Yeah. Well, we're almost done anyways.
Okay.
They can bear with the audio for a little.
Yeah, forgive me, guys. Sorry. My equipment will start acting up at this time.
There's a whole bunch of 1-star ratings I'm just looking at and I'm like, oh. But anyways, that's pretty much it. That was the fight list. The segment everybody missed. The segment I missed. The segment I know Nick and Mr. Fuentes missed. That was it. This is the first fight list. Kai, is that what you're calling him, right, Kai?
KY, little bitch.
KY, you're on the fight list. You're on Manny's fight list.
You've made it on my fight list. I don't like you.
You don't want to be on the fight list, man. People are on the fight list. You know what they get? They get fist.
And that's with a PH. I got a PhD in kicking ass since the beginning of my fist. Here's the thing. These hands are rated E for everyone, so please know that I do not care what you identify as. You will get these hands. Alright? These hands do not discriminate. Okay? They are all loving because they just want to beat the out of anybody who has the audacity to talk down on something. And you can have your opinions. There's nothing wrong with having an opinion, even if they're not right. So, there you go. There you have it. I need to breathe a little bit. I gotta calm down. It's been a...
You can have your shitty opinions. Just don't go force us to read them on IMDb.
Yeah.
No one gives a shit about him.
Yeah, go to your room and cry. Gosh.
That's pretty much it for our first episode of Blade. We hope y'all enjoyed. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for tuning in. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Hit the
Please.
like button.
Please
Comment down below what you thought of the
do it.
review.
Share.
If you're and share it, yeah.
Mhm.
And if go watch some other videos. We have a whole bunch of podcasts on the channel, a whole bunch of wrestling,
Yes.
whole bunch of everything,
Mm,
everything. The next
yes.
episode will be X-Men, I believe,
Ooh,
and this obviously airs July 10th. The next episode will be July 24th because we are a bi-weekly podcast
yes.
every Sunday morning, 10 a.m.
Yes.
Every other Sunday
Yes.
morning, 10 a.m.
Mm,
Next episode, X-Men, July 24th. The top 6 sinister list will be Marvel villains.
mm,
And you can follow me if you want. I make wrestling content. I do wrestling videography. My wife does wrestling photography, all on this Instagram page of Wrestling Tacos. That is WRASSLINTALKOS. If you want to get your
beautiful.
wrestling fix, follow us there. If you want to follow my personal account, you can. It's Franco Zemo Sewa. That's EMOSEWA or Awesome Spell Backwards. I'll probably end up posting more on there for this podcast and all that stuff. So you can follow us on there as well. And you can if you're listening on audio as well, give us a 5-star rating if you have the time, please.
Mm,
And listen to any of the other podcasts we have because this is becoming a podcast network, honestly. We have a whole bunch of podcasts. We have this one, we have Behind the Mask with Mr. Fuentes, we have Friday the 14th, we have Friday the 14th Present through HD, we have Deep Dive through the Upside Down, and we also
mm.
have I think that's it. Right? Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, the Cinema Movie Podcast as well.
Yeah, I was gonna
So,
ask that. Yeah, cinnamon.
which they also review movies. They have a wider array of movies.
Yes.
So you go listen to them over there, and you can follow my gorgeous colleague over here on his Instagram page.
Yes. At Fresh TV 217. That's where y'all can hit me up and stuff. I post a lot of my action figures and stuff like that. Because I love to collect toys. Because that's how you deal with the fact that they're idiots on IMDb writing shitty ass reviews, like the ones that we recently did. But yeah, please give me a follow. I would appreciate that. And again, just support everything that Emosuo Productions is currently putting out because it's just a variety of good stuff. It's really fun stuff, and there is something for everybody. Thank y'all for listening.
Peace.
Peace. Later.
Stay off the fight list.
Stay off
Till
of it.
next